Join me as I navigate through the ups and downs of the past 4 months. So, this is a slightly different approach to how I would normally do things. I'm looking to reflect and recap on the past 4 months. And what I want to do is review and see if I've managed to make any strides towards the goals that I set myself at the start of the year. So, this is January 2024 up to April 2024. The first 4 months of the year. Now, I apologise if my voice keeps going up and down. Hay fever is absolutely kicking my ass. So some big highlights from the start of the year. So I've had a birthday, I've turned 32. Rose has had her first birthday, and the boys and Bex, their birthdays are coming up. They're all down. So the boys have had their birthdays now as well, and so has Bex. But we're going to pretend like this is the end of April. Apparently what it sounds like for her might be a bit similar to what it sounds like for people that are underwater, so a bit muffled. So updates on Rose is she's been given a hearing aid to help her hear. It's not that she's deaf, but it just means that. And in terms of her heart scan has gone really, really well, and they're really pleased with the progress that she's made. As well as her NG tube, she's now eating the food. She's doing really well with it, even though she is still struggling with water and also taking her medicine, so the tube is still needed. As a family, we've introduced board game nights every week in an attempt to try and get the boys off electronics, but also stimulate their brains, and also just create that special time for us all as a family to sit down and play board games. We've also made it a thing where every month we'll buy a new board game just to keep playing and just to make sure that it's still fresh for everyone. We've had a long weekend in Cornwall, which was absolutely lovely. That was sort of a spur of the moment through Sun Holidays. It's always really worth looking at those if you just want a cheap getaway. They're not as cheap as they advertise, but they're very close to it. For my birthday, I was surprised to a weekend in Ilfracombe, which was absolutely lovely. I've never been before, and I've decided that I want to live near the coast. Becky's had her hen do, which was a 90s party at Butlins. I've had 2 stag do's. I've had one that was arranged by my colleagues at work and one by my best man. A little bit greedy. Another big thing, so Archie, the now middle child, absolutely smashed World Book Day at school. He dressed up as Frodo. We brought our wedding rings at the start of the year. Like I said, I'm recording this later than I planned, so I'm wearing it. We've got married, but I wasn't going to talk about that. I'm still going to pretend it's the wrong time. I've started a website for the charity where we're donating money for Rose and the charitable activities that we are doing to raise money for, not for Rose, but for the charities that have helped her. We've really been doubling down on our calendars, the shopping list that I've been making for Excel, recipes, the meal prepping. We've been really trying to double down and make sure that all those sorts of aspects are really taken care of. So we've also been using Matt D'Avella's 2-day checklist as well, which brings me nicely onto the challenges and growths that I've tried to set myself for the first 4 months of the year. So in January, I set myself the challenge of only eating Huel products, following the Huel diet. Throughout January, this was really to try and kickstart myself after December. It was also, I had a lot planned and I really wanted to just minimise what I ate, but also try and be healthy and kickstart things moving forward. Doubled down on that and gave that a good crack throughout the whole of January. I did complete it, and also more of a stepping stone and a bit of a mindset game for myself to just get through and smash it. So pros and cons of it. It was effective. It was so easy. Tried not to weigh myself while I did it, because sometimes that can really, it wasn't doing it to beat the scales. I was trying to lose a bit of weight, but it was more about how I felt. There's no time at all. You don't really have to even think about it. Just 2 scoops of whatever you add cold or hot water depending on what it is, and you're done. With it being quick, it means I had a lot of time to do other things. So for example, for breakfast, it would take me no longer than 3 minutes to make one and I'm done. Opposed to be fair, I was never really a breakfast person, so it doesn't really bother me. I'd have cereal, but even cereal takes me longer. But I can take it with me, I can eat it along the way. My lunch was just a lot quicker. Normally I'd come back, I'd spend about 10 minutes just quickly preparing a lunch. It was there, it was done in minutes. I set myself a relatively tough challenge and I was completing it. Made me feel like I was taking steps towards my goals, and that in itself was hugely rewarding. Now the cons were, halfway through I did get a little bit bored, and that wasn't until I started trying the pasta, and that was amazing. That was a game changer. I could have carried on all throughout February, I do now still continue to have it every morning for breakfast. It's just so easy. I don't think I could ever have anything else. My February challenge was to try and read. I tried to read every day. What I wanted to, so you've got a few books there, as you can see. I made a list in my bullet journal of what I wanted to read. I probably read about 2 books, two and a half, just in February, just to plow on through. This was me just trying to think of healthy habits. So I thought it would be really good for my brain, get myself engaged, brain cells working, which was what I thought about reading every day. Pros and cons. As great as it was reading at night, sometimes I was left feeling motivated from what I was reading, and then I couldn't exactly take action on that because it was bedtime. So that was a bit of a problem. And also, I really don't struggle sleeping at night. I can turn off like a light switch, just done. So as I was there reading, because I'm in bed and I'm so just go to sleep, I would struggle to then read as well because I was just so ready to go to sleep because I'm in bed. So that was quite interesting for myself to learn that I needed to read in the day, which is partly why we set up this little area. So I've got somewhere that's not in the way of traffic around the house. We have a traffic light system on the door to denote, that me or my partner are doing stuff in here. And if I needed just a quiet minute to come and read in here for the day, I could come in here, either read on my pad, grab a book and flick through and read. That's just a nice room to just come and rewind and actually do some reading. Now, my challenge in March was to go to the gym every work day. So it wasn't quite every day, but it was Monday to Friday. Obviously, I work in an office. And the gym is actually, if I walk to work, the gym is on the way to where I work. So it's always been a bit of a no-brainer that I should have signed up for that gym if I'm going to. And this was really good, actually. I really got stuck involved in it. I made sure I was signed up towards the end of February so that as soon as I hit March, I could hit the ground running and start going. I made sure I had my calendar, but I also made sure I had a friend and he kept me accountable as well. And, really good at myself. Obviously, I started January with Huel losing a bit of excess weight, continued a little bit throughout February, and then started toning up throughout March, which was nice. It was really good for my mindset to be working on my body, of my mind and then my body. They were what I was on at the time. When it got to March, as you could probably tell by my upload schedule, it all got a little bit too much for me and things ended up taking a bit of a back burner. And I don't know if I was just in a bit of a slump with other things, but it just started I could feel that I was getting pulled in too many directions and I was struggling to keep hitting the goals that I wanted. Partly why I wanted to make this video to try and keep myself accountable, so when we get to the end of the next 4 months, I can make another update and hopefully I'll be in a better position. So with that being said, during April, my challenge was to keep productivity tasks going. So this was almost a snap reaction to how I was during March. And I wanted to keep myself moving forward. And despite being in a slump at the time as well, I wanted to make sure that I could start building momentum and action again. This was really good and quite fun actually, because so in the end I decided that my current system for getting things done didn't really seem to be working at the time. So I took a step back. I didn't stop. I carried on trying to do my, daily task of something or other. Made a list of all the little jobs I wanted to do, and then what I would do is every day I'd spin a dial, and then whatever number it landed on is the task I would do. And I found that chaos really helped me to get a bit of excitement and really pull me out of that slump. I'm feeling at a point now where I don't need that chaos. I can just carry on and get cracking on with doing stuff, and that in itself. But if you're in a slump, that sort of system, if you want me to go into more detail, I will, really helped me. So goals were to keep growing this YouTube channel and to post a video once a week. And I did do a good job of that initially, but then come March and April, it definitely did take a back burner. And even through May now, it still took a back burner, but I'm hoping that I'll be getting back on board and get on track with where I need to be. I just want to take a moment to thank you all for being involved in this journey. If there's anything in this that you think you'd like me to delve deeper in, or go into more detail. I mean, this is exactly the most useful video. This is probably quite a selfish one, but I'm making it for me and for accountability, and also to show that I'm real on this journey and I'm working my way through it, and your support in this, whoever you might be watching this, is appreciated, and I really do appreciate it. This is a goal of mine, to make this a successful thing. I'd like my lifestyle to be built around this. I enjoy it massively, and I'd love also for my boys to be able to see me make this a success, because, you know, kids these days just want to be, you know, YouTubers, influencers, and I don't think that it's impossible. And I'd like to be able to learn the skills myself so that I can help them develop and live the lives that they want, really. So looking ahead, what I want to do is I'll do another one of these at the end of the next 4 months. My goals are pretty much the same as they were at the start of the year. I want to keep developing this YouTube channel. I want to keep cracking on with my bullet journal. I want to make a secondary channel as well that incorporates something a bit more fun. So I actually had the idea of a Warhammer channel, but I think I might step away from that and do Pokemon cards, because the whole family love Pokemon cards, and that way it's something that we could all do together and is potentially productive. And as I mentioned earlier, it might help the boys see how they can become influencers themselves, and it's just a bit of a hobby project, that one. So with that all being said, if you want me to go over the actual figures and numbers, you know, on YouTube in these 4 months, how many videos I've uploaded, how many views, all that good stuff, if you want me to break it down, the analytics and how much money it's made me, do let me know in the comments, and I can expand on that and go into more detail on the video. But that's it for now. Thank you.